What's good, my people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another ranking slash review video. Today we're gonna be ranking and reviewing every single Pixar movie. If y'all confused on what separates a Disney movie from a Pixar movie, Disney and Pixar are doing the more like animated shit and not the hand-drawn, but surprisingly Zootopia is not part of this list. Yeah, man, we're gonna be ranking 24 of Disney Pixar movies, but I have a list of movies I haven't seen, and those are Elio, Elemental, Hoppers, Lightyear, Soul, Onward, and Coco. Surprisingly, Coco I didn't watch, but I do plan on watching that. And I didn't watch Soul, man. Just go ahead and take away my black card. I guarantee you this list is gonna piss off mad people. But the thing about Pixar movies is that they kind of they got something for everyone. It goes both ways because they either have lessons and themes that you care about or personally relate to, or you don't, and then that makes the movie a little less intriguing as it could be. Some of these movies got good ass lessons that stick with you from childhood to adulthood, you feel me? So y'all pissed at my list, y'all can just let me know your opinions down below. I guess let's get into it, bro. This is gonna be mad controversial, I already know. All right, so at number 24, because I eliminated about 7 movies from this list, in last place I got Turning Red, 6 out of 10. Listen, bro, this movie by any means isn't bad, bro. I don't think there's not one Pixar movie that has ever been made, even with the ones I didn't watch, that's gonna fall below a 5 out of 10. You feel me? Like, all of these have good stories that come with them. They have flaws. Every single movie has flaws, but at the same time, I don't think Pixar really misses for real. I don't think I'm ever gonna walk out a Pixar movie like this shit was dog shit. But Turning Red, man, a few points dropped down just the amount of times I saw this shit, because around the time it came out, my little brother would always watch it. It was on all the time, like every single time it's Turning Red. I'm pretty sure this movie one of the main inspirations for K-pop Demon Hunters, because there's some, I don't know, there's not too much similarities, but there's some in there that this movie reminds me of. But besides that, this movie's not too bad. It is a 6 out of 10 just because I don't relate to it. This is about a girl named Mei Lee. Yeah, she turns into a red panda, which kind of symbolizes her which into her teenage years or some shit. Well, she's 13. So whenever she feels excitement, anger, or stress, she turns into a big red panda. But you know, it's just not something I relate to, but I understand the message it's trying to portray. There's some things in this movie I do not fuck with, like when she goes to like the concert for them K-pop boys, and then they supposed to be like older, and they kind of like crushing on the little girls. That shit was weird. She's trying to go against her mom's word, and as a panda, she's like shaking her ass at her, and it's like, I feel like gyrating. That shit was weird, bro. I hate when Pixar adds shit like that. That is nah. And also, I understand her issues at home, right? Her parents, not parents, it's mostly her mom that's strict, but coming from a home where I come from, you know, living with my mom and my dad, I don't know, I can't relate to this because what she's going through just does not seem like that big of a deal to be making such a big fuss about it. You feel me? You're in a stable home. Your mom cares so much about you. Like, it's not even like her mom don't care. When she finds out that she's having her, you know, body changes and shit, she rushes to her and like has all the options for her. She's prepping her for it because the mom knows that it's a possibility she could turn into a panda. She just doesn't know exactly when, but she assumes it's the human shit girls go through, and she's like right there ready to help her out. The dad's kind of non-existent, but I'm pretty sure he's a good dad. Like, she doesn't have any issues with her dad. It's because her mom's strict. She's the woman of the house. She lays shit down type shit. But her mom, besides being strict and not liking her friends, who are obviously the ones trying to convince her to go against her mom's word, which is just like, I don't want you going to these concerts by yourself because you're 13 fucking years old. I don't know, man. There's a lot of messages there that just shouldn't be told to children. It's not bad for your parent to want, it's bad for them to coddle you all your life, but she's not at that age where it's like, you gotta let me go see the world. Bitch, you can't even fucking take a Uber at this age. Like, come on, man. There has to be some responsibility that is just non-existent in the movie lesson. They want us to fully go against the mom, but honestly, I feel like she's running a stable house. Like, I know it's just the three of them, and she kind of belittles the dad a little bit, but it's because she's very strict, you know, she grew up strict. So them placing the mom as the misunderstood villain, or just the villain in general, it's just a weird choice, man, especially with the grandmas and sisters and shit. Well, the sisters, I think, are supportive of the little girl, but nah, I just feel like there's more wrong lessons than right lessons. Because yes, you should let your child blossom, but when you're going through these changes, I feel like your mother is probably the best person to go to about it, and her mom handles it pretty fucking strongly. Maybe I'm missing something that justifies all of this, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, puberty. I was looking for the word puberty. I don't know how I forgot that shit. It was great expectations, and like, I don't know, man, there's just a lot. It's just a lot of shit I don't think kids should be doing. You can go against your parents, you can say they're doing too much, like they're coddling you too much, they expect too much from you at such a young age. You can have a conversation about that, but she's fucking ready to run away. Like, she's using the panda to make a fundraiser that'll allow her to purchase tickets to a concert behind her parents' back, bro. They try to make us feel bad for her friends when they're just trying to convince her to go against her parents. I'm not fucking with that, bro. This movie's not bad. I'm not fucking with the lessons. I'm not fucking with a lot of lessons that are taught here. A lot of them just makes her seem like an ungrateful brat, man. Like, I don't know. I'd feel like if I had parents like hers, I'd be chilling. So Turning Red, number 24, 6 out of 10. At number 23, we got Finding Dory. So Finding Dory, low-key, I didn't know which to pick over, but I feel like Finding Dory has a more heartwarming story compared to Turning Red, but it is a very unneeded sequel. Disney, especially for the last few years, has been releasing sequels that have been making mad cash, so they ain't never gonna stop. I don't know, man, like, this shit just was not needed. This about Dory struggling with memory loss like she always has, but she gets a memory of playing with seashells with her parents, which inspires her to find them, and I think she remembers some type of address or some shit. I don't know, but this is just a unneeded sequel, but that doesn't mean it's bad. The reason it's 6 out of 10, this was really just mainly made for like merchandising with the octopus and the whale, the beluga whale. I don't know, I wasn't fucking with it. It wasn't funny. Finding Nemo was funny. This one wasn't funny. I did like the story, her struggling to find them and then losing hope with her memory loss. It was cool. I like the potential of this film better than better than Turning Red, but they're honestly damn near equal. It's just not that good. Very forgetful sequel, and she was voiced by Ellen's crazy ass. Don't let me get started on her. This movie is very forced. I did love it when it first dropped, but as an adult, there's not a lot of lessons there. What is the lesson? Like, why would her parents, I don't know, man, 20 years after, I don't know, it's a fucking cartoon. I can't. At number 22, we got The Good Dinosaur, 7 out of 10. Now, I got some type of gripe against this movie, and it's not even about the movie. It just makes me feel like, wish I was this age back in 2015 when this came out. Because when I was young, man, I chose this over watching The Force Awakens. We was watching Alvin and the Chipmunks in the theaters, and my parents went to another theater to watch The Force Awakens. So after Alvin and the Chipmunks was over, we snuck into The Good Dinosaur, and it was like the beginning of the movie. We watched most of it, and then I ended up finishing it at a later date. But this movie is about Arlo, a dinosaur who gets lost far from home, teams up with a little caveman boy, little boy named Spot, to find his way back. This is like basically The Last of Us in dinosaur form. Yeah, I just like the premise of it. You know, how the boy doesn't talk, but he understands. There's a lot of courage. His father dies to a flood. I remember that shit. Both the dinosaur and the little boy Spot like are lost, and then Arlo helps him find his family at the end. Yeah, this is just a better movie than them last two. It just has more heart in it. I don't remember it too much, but I do know it's better than the last two. Also, Arlo makes it back to his family too. So yeah, it's just a better fucking movie. It's not much to it. Like I said, this is like The Last of Us, basically, with the I gotta help him go somewhere, and there's danger on the way. And I think there was dinosaurs. Oh yeah, there was dinosaurs trying to hunt down the little caveman boy. But I like this movie. Not too much on it. Now this is a hot take, because niggas love this movie, and surprisingly it's the only Disney princess movie that was made by Pixar. Moana, surprisingly, not on this list at all. At number 21, we got Brave, 7 out of 10. Now, look, man. Aside from the bear spell, this is basically Mulan. Not the setting, it's very different, but if you take away the bears, this is basically she's beefing with her mom because she wants to be like an archer, and that's only for niggas. This trope of I want to do this, some part of my family don't want me to do it because it's not the norm, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah, that's kind of played out. I guess at this point it wasn't, but this is just a weaker version of it. I'm not really fucking with this movie too much. It's a good movie. Probably the weakest princess movie that ever came out. I ain't gonna hold you. Very forgettable, but it's not bad. Number 20, we got Toy Story 4, 7 out of 10. Oh, I feel like I had this a little too low. Nah, this is valid, because this is where we started feeling the goddamn let's get this over with type feeling about the Toy Story franchise after the trilogy, which was damn near perfect, and then they just added on Toy Story 4 because they're like, fuck it, let's sell merchandise. This movie was very unneeded, but it's not a bad movie. I'm tired of niggas like saying this like it has no right to exist, because it has some strong points. I'm pretty sure like this is Woody's story, you feel me? And if anybody deserves a fucking send-off, it's Woody, but he doesn't really get that. He comes back for 5, but he's not big in 5, so this is kind of his send-off, or like he finds his calling. The biggest issue about this movie is Bonnie's ungrateful ass. Like, I know she was very young when Andy was like, promise me you'll take care of him, but at the same time, this is an animated series, so if Bonnie had more dedication in taking care of these toys like Andy did, and Andy was around that age when we first met him, I feel like there'll be a lot more heart into it. But like, she loses the toys and all she cares about is Forky. But it's just dumb, man. Forky was just a merchandise quota, man. That's all it felt like. Like, there was just no respect for Woody. She didn't even have to like him. Like, she ends up fucking with Jesse, but at the same time, in that movie, she abandons the toys again. Like, yo, Bonnie's just a horrible owner. I know she's young, I know this is animated movies, but if you want us to care, like, Andy's dead ass legendary. Like, niggas, like, he's dead ass a meme. Ain't nobody gonna be like, oh, Bonnie's coming. Like, you know how they say Andy's coming and then they do that everybody freeze or some shit? Bonnie's never gonna have that legacy. Like, the fact that they want to do a Toy Story 6 to end off her trilogy, it never felt like her trilogy. It felt more like 4 and 5 are the adventures of the toys while Bonnie's in the background. Andy was in the background, but he's mentioned a lot more because he cares about the fucking toys, you feel me? So Toy Story 4, Bonnie's character was just really, nobody really fucks with it. And the villain, Gabby, what, she wants to kidnap Woody and take his fucking voice box? That was weak, because she's like an antique that was forgotten. Now we got a hot take. At number 19, I got Inside Out, 7 out of 10. This is another case where they make the main character, or the main like human character with feelings, go against parents. Like, I get it. She has these little emotions in her head that kind of decide for her, but in a realistic sense, because that every time they shift the focus to Riley, they show a realistic situation, right? But it's another case of like, I don't fuck with what this character is doing. She moves from like, what, it was like Minnesota to California or some shit, and you know, she's trying to get used to her new school life, surroundings, all of that shit. But she ends up running away. Like, I know the emotions, joy and sadness is like taken away, so it's kind of like they're making this point where you need all emotions because that's how you function properly, and she goes through depression. It makes sense, but like, when you really look at her circumstances, it's really like, this is not that serious. I don't see why you're making such a big fuss out of this, Riley. You're in a new circumstance that's like, damn. You're in a new circumstance and you have no friends, your house is empty, it's just hard for a kid. This is coming from somebody who went to like 10 different schools growing up. I understand that, I relate somewhat to it, but to be that depressed and ready to run away off your first move, that's low-key some privilege shit. Like, I feel like she never been through anything in her life. Like, her parents are happily married, everything's good. I don't know, I just feel like that shit was blown out of proportion, but I can't tell someone how to feel about a situation, right? But for someone that's used to being in situations like that, I feel like it was dragged out. Less about Riley and more about the emotions, because they're the main characters. They was good. I do like Inside Out 2 better, which is above this, because the emotions really get the chance to flourish. This is mainly about joy and sadness is so fucking annoying. I get it, emotions have certain shit going on, but joy is literally able to cry in this movie. Sadness just fucking sad, bro. Joy just fucking dragging her around and shit. They're like playing happy emotions, where joy does learn a lesson where it's like sadness is needed. Let somebody be sad because that gives other people the chance to cheer them up. But they're like playing joyful memories, and they're like, sadness, go fuck off, go do something in the corner. And then she's like, oh no, I'm just gonna do this myself. And she starts touching all the memories, making them sad. She's spreading the depression. Sadness is a horrible goddamn character. Like, I get the point they're trying to prove, but the way they did that is just like, can somebody kill this bitch? Can somebody make Riley take antidepressants? Like, get rid of this shit. She's fucking up everything. Nah, that's a joke, but on a serious note, yeah, Joy was the main character. It's just weird, man. She felt the most human out of everybody. Now, number 18, we got A Bug's Life. Now look, I haven't watched this movie in a long time, but I do look up at it fondly because there's a strong message. I do fuck with the main grasshopper, where he does the line where it's like, first rule of leadership is everything's your fault, which means I don't give a fuck what your people did. They are under your command, which means if they fuck up, you fuck up. I love that. That's such a strong ass message. Nah, this movie might be a little bit overrated, but I like the message it portrays. Like I said, I haven't watched it in a while, but I know for a fact it's better than these last few movies. But I give that an 8 out of 10. At number 17, we got Inside Out 2, also an 8 out of 10. Honestly, I was contemplating giving this a 9. I think it's another instinct of Riley having it good. Her natural feelings kind of blow everything out of proportion, but this time it's better because anxiety was something that I dealt with a lot, and I still kind of deal with, and it's relatable to way more people than it is with the first movie. Because anxiety was annoying, but it wasn't annoying to where like this shit is unwatchable. Like, she kicks out all the old emotions and brings in the new shit with, like, I forget the new ones. It's like that pink fat motherfucker and then that depressed girl. She brings in her new crew where it's like, fuck the OGs, I'm about to take over. I know how to get this shit done. But she's overthinking. She always overthinks, and that's what anxiety is, bro. Kick out all that joy, disgust. Ain't nobody got time for that, because I can't stick on one thing. If this doesn't work, this has to work. If this doesn't work, it has to work. And then when joy gets back, and then anxiety's on the fucking monitoring table, and she's like going so fast, she's basically at one point, joy's like, yo, you going through similar shit I did. But instead, you're kicking everybody out. I was just kicking sadness punk ass out. You're kicking everybody out and taking over. Fucks up Riley's relationship with her friends, because she thinks sacrificing her relationship with them to be with the cooler girls is better who's on the hockey team. And it comes to a point where the overthinking becomes too much and she just breaks the fuck down. I think sadness actually stays in the tower. But yeah, this message was way stronger. At number 16, we got Toy Story 5, 8 out of 10. I forget what I gave it when I watched it. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10. But I like this movie. This is probably this is better than Toy Story 4 because it's a lot more heartwarming. I don't give a damn if Jesse's the main lead and Buzz and Woody are kind of thrown to the side. This is more about her backstory and how she helps technology, the lily pad, realize that we can work together to make a child happy. And you don't gotta push all the old school toys out the way, because we provide joy just as much as your technological ass does. So you ain't about to push us out, man. We have a lot of value. Bonnie's only using the fucking lily pad because she feels it could make her friends, but in the end, she's like, fuck the kids with the lily pad, and she just starts talking to Blaze. I don't think I mentioned her in the movie review, but she talks to Blaze, who is very into playing with toys, and they have a lot in common. So with Bonnie's experience with the lily pad and Blaze's experience with toys, because she's older than Bonnie, they use both of those to create excitement with playing with toys. And Bonnie goes through a little depression phase where she got a hoodie on, she getting cyberbullied by the punk ass kids across the street with lily pads. It was mad sad. They just kept making her feel bad. She pulled up to the play day like, hey, I got toys on, I'm playing, and they looked at her like she said some racist shit. But in the end, it's like, we don't need technology. Y'all not even socializing for real. So that message was mad strong, bro. This was a strong ass movie. Niggas know that Toy Story 4 lacked some of the message that they needed for these movies, so they locked in on this one. At number 15, we got Ratatouille. Remy, when he whipping it up in the kitchen, that shit look mad good. And what he teaches the shitty ass redhead, learn how to cook. It's fucking stupid. The whole pulling his head makes his arm move. I always found that dumb, but it is a cartoon. The main reason why I fuck with this movie so hard is because the food looks so fucking delicious. When Remy takes the strawberry and the cheese and puts them together, when he takes the mushroom, puts it on a stick and puts cheese on it, and then takes the stick up to the roof and uses lightning to cook that shit and takes a bite. When he makes the ratatouille, and when I was younger I thought that shit was pepperonis, but it's like tomatoes and like cucumbers and I think peppers, maybe it's made with. It looks delicious. I think I actually tried that in real life, but the animation of the food and like them cooking is fucking beautiful. This is one of their best animated movies, man. They was in their bags for this one. When he's stirring the soup and he like, watch out white boy, let me finish this let me season up this soup, cause your garbage ass don't know how to do it. He throwing in all the spices and shit. He throwing it around. He tasting it. He's like, nah, that ain't gonna work. And then he throws some more in it. Yo, that shit was fire, bro. Just the villain weak as shit. At number 14, I got Cars 2, 8 out of 10. This movie mad overhated. Like when it first came, I guess I was mad young. This shit came out like 2010. Oh, this is mainly about Mater, I think, was the biggest issue with people. Yeah, Lightning McQueen goes to fucking the World Grand Prix. The premise is pretty dumb, but I liked it, man. Who's the fucking the spy guy? Finn McMissile. I love that dude. I had a toy. I was a low-key a Cars fan, and I never really repped it like that, but I had mad car toys, bro. They mistake Mater for undercover American spy. Yeah, I could get why people say this is shitty, but I just feel like this is a good looking ass movie. I like it. But yeah, it is a fun movie. Maybe I put it a little too high, but I still look up at it fondly. I don't get why it gets that much hate. It's not that bad. For a sequel, it is bad, because when you compare it to the first one, that shit is legendary. Like, you're not fucking with Cars 1. You're not fucking with it. But yeah, I can see why people look at it like that. Number 13, which is my big hot take, is Luca. I love Luca, man. This movie was so heartwarming. I remember around the time it came out, I didn't like it that much. I rewatched it recently with my girl, and that shit was just good, bro. Like that. I love movies that kind of talk about brotherhood. I know they're not brothers, but they might as well be, because they're both sea monsters that are trying to figure out the human world. Well, what's his name? Alberto already knows what's going on with the human world, but he has no family, so he really has no choice. But he's like teaching Luca. He's not even a dickhead, man. He has him doing some risky shit. I don't know. I love the relationship, man. Even though Luca kind of like sells him out towards the end for the girl, it was just an adorable trio. Luca, sea monster that was coddled by his parents all his life, and they're just like, don't go up there, humans hate you, which they do. And when he does, he meets Alberto. Alberto teaches him the ways of being a human, and they find a scooter Luca been crushing on, so they plan on winning a race or some shit. Yeah, the Vespa. I fucking love this movie. The bully was kind of dog shit, but he was annoying and he was very competitive, and he had a little gang on him. It was fine. He kind of reminds me of the lead chef in Ratatouille. It's really about friendship, man, and loyalty. Yeah, it's really about acceptance and freedom, you know? They just want to be free. It's about equality. It's low-key about racism when you really think about it. Like, niggas don't fuck with sea monsters, so at the sight of a sea monster, they want to string them up. So I like that. They kind of proved the humans wrong. And then it's the ending that really hit me hard, because Alberto gets a father figure in the little girl's dad, I'm pretty sure it is. Luca gets sent off to school, and that was low-key an emotional ending after all they've been through. There's a lot of discourse about it, like, oh, this is queer baiting. It's so dumb, bro. What is gay about this movie? Have y'all never seen a French nigga? Like, maybe y'all niggas don't have good relationships with y'all siblings or some shit, but I like this movie. This was good. At number 12, we got Up. I do think Up is a little overrated, but it is an 8 out of 10 still. It's kind of like The Last of Us. There's a lot of these tropes where it's like, let me take this little kid that I don't really fuck with on this adventure. What is it? He wants to bring up he uses balloons to take his house to the falls or some shit. Carl wants to fulfill his childhood promise he made to his wife that died, which is the saddest intro in probably animated movie history, man, because it just sums up their whole life and how she dies to cancer or something. He's inspired by her memory, so he takes the balloons like they dreamt of and plans on taking it. Paradise Falls. I do think the dog and the bird is fucking annoying. I don't really fuck with them. I do like the squirrel shit, but they're not really what makes this movie good. It's about Carl cozying up to Russell. Russell kind of reminds him of his wife. Well, he's adventurous. He's a nice boy. Like, he has a lot of potential. He's a Boy Scout that doesn't have parents. So in the end, when he earns his like Scout's honor badge or some shit, Carl's there to give it to him, and then he adopts it. Oh my god, this movie is fucking good. At number 11, we got Incredibles 2. This isn't a bad movie. I think it just, when you go from a villain like Syndrome to, what is it, Evelyn Devor or some shit, the Tinkerer, what is it called, the Screenslaver, not the Tinkerer, that's Miles Morales. When you go from Syndrome to the Screenslaver, that shit is just bad, because that shit was low-key, not even low-key, that was very predictable and obvious. But I feel like the family centric was what the movie was really about, you know what I'm saying? So Mr. Incredible's at home dealing with family shit. I love that. He's trying his best, but he's not used to it. It's a whole flip of who they were in the last one, right? Because wasn't it like Mr. Incredible wanted to settle down and Elastigirl wanted the opposite, but she's good at settling down and he's not. And in this movie, he's forced to take care of the family. And Elastigirl, I don't think she's forced to. She is inspired to go back to superhero life, but then she realizes family's way more capable than she previously thought they were. Violet's very capable. She's mad smart. She's powerful like a motherfucker. And Dash is mad courageous, you know what I'm saying? He got paws, he could fight. I fuck with this movie. It's just a villain. The villain does bring it down. Low-key, I'm thinking of giving it a 7, but I'll keep it at an 8 for this video. But when the parents get taken over and it's up to the kids to fucking punch the glasses off of them, I just like that, man. It was just good. It was good. I don't see how this movie's bad. The action was really good in this movie too. It was really fucking good. The animation was gorgeous. He made the boy she likes forget who she was, and she doesn't know that, so she pulls up on him and it's like, hey, so what about that date we talked about? And he's like, bitch, who is you? There's really nothing going on with Dash. I think it's his homework. He can't figure out his homework. And then with the baby gaining his powers, and obviously he's the most powerful one there. He's like on some Franklin Richards shit. Incredibles 2 was a good ass movie, man. Could have been better. Definitely could have been better, but it's a good ass movie. And now we in top 10 territory. This shit is almost an hour long. Number 10. We got Monsters Incorporated. Where do my issues come with this? I think it's the kidnapping children aspect. I don't know. It was just weird. I don't think that should have been a plot point. That shit just doesn't sit well. Kidnap the children to keep the scream levels high, I think it was. I want to go on these based off memory. Fuck it. Do look at it fondly, because what you remember about this movie is Sully doing his best to keep the little girl he's been taught all his life that humans are bad. He puts everything he has to keep her safe. And with Randall trying to climb to the top of the rankings because Sully's like that nigga, Sully's not even worried about that, bro. He's worried about keeping the little girl safe. He switched his mindset on humans. Like, all monsters are taught that humans are literally a disease. You get touched by them and you're either getting shaven or you're getting put the fuck down. And he risked that to keep this little girl safe. The little girl don't even understand the thing he's saying. She just be calling him kitty and shit. She know Mike Wazowski a real nigga because he helping too. As far as they know, humans are contagious. Like, they're the of that universe. So for them to really put all of that, their lives on the line to keep her safe, that shit is mad heartwarming. I do like, this is a hot take and you're gonna see why, because Monsters University I have above this. I love Monsters University. This has a strong message too, man, because the risk is so fucking high, you know what I'm saying? Randall was scary as fuck as a kid, and he's low-key still scary, man. That nigga overpowered. How you gonna be able to turn invisible? At number 9, I got Toy Story 2, 9 out of 10. I don't think it's better than 1 or 3. You'll see why when I talk about it, but Toy Story 2 is still a banger. You know, the first trilogy doesn't go below a 9 out of 10. Like, that shit could have been the perfect trilogy. Woody finding out his origin, which low-key confused me, because why does Buzz come out the box remembering what his purpose was, or at least not to make a kid happy, which he learns later. But he comes out like, oh, I'm the space ranger, I'm supposed to be taking out Zurg and shit. But Woody doesn't remember his origin. I found that confusing. Like, why doesn't he remember? I know he's old as shit. He's like a 1950s toy along with Jessie. I know Jessie was more around her origin, but I just don't think that's something you fucking forget. Like, that's weird. But I don't want to get too much in this philosophy of what goes on in the toys' minds. But this was good, man. The scene where he's getting polished up and fixed up for the reseller was mad satisfying. The reseller wasn't too big of a villain. It was more about Stinky Pete thinking that them being put on a pedestal is way more valuable than doing something for a kid, and Jessie kind of changes Jessie's mind with that, because Jessie was abandoned. And I love that that was touched on in Toy Story 5, because she has always doubted that she should prioritize her well-being over a kid's, but then in the very end she learns. But in this movie she just gets convinced that she can do good for a kid, she can get a second chance, you know. And Woody's the pioneer for that shit. He knows, he never feels betrayed by Andy. He knows kids might move on. That's what he learned in the first movie when Buzz takes his place. Like, we can share that because kids grow up, they like new shit. That's just what happens. So he convinces Jessie. This is a good movie. I don't think it's better than 1 and 3. But it's really fun. This is great. It's a phenomenal movie. I ain't even gonna downplay it. Now, Wall-E at number 8, 9 out of 10. Fucking love this movie. This shit, it's crazy how low it is, but I feel like the movies above this have better stories to them. Yeah, it's all about consumerism, corporate greed. And this movie flew a bunch of... It's crazy that a company that has a lot of greed made a movie like this. It's about disconnection from the real world, and it's damn near dialogue free. Damn near, like, these niggas don't really say nothing, but you can tell by the urgency in their voice and what they do. Their body language is like, how do robots care more about saving the earth than these fat motherfuckers that came from it? The message is really strong. At least Wall-E, who's been living on earth, sees the potential in trying to save it, and then convinces Eva to help him on this journey to save the world. That shit fire. Yo, Pixar be cooking sometimes, bro. Number 7, Finding Nemo, 9 out of 10. The stakes was so high in this movie. You know, Nemo wanting to see more of the sea life, and then he dares his dad like a little shit, and then he touches the boat, and then he gets kidnapped, and then it's up to Marlin with the help of Dory, who forgets a lot of shit but remembers the important shit, helps him on his long journey to find his son. And I love, like, Nemo's literally the last Marlin has, last physical memory of his wife, who stupidly went to the eggs to try to save her kids up against a fucking predator. And then there's this theory out that she went to go eat them because that's what clownfish do, but fuck that. His little egg gets cracked at birth, and then he's a little disabled with his little fin wailing around. Like, that shit mad cute, bro. That shit mad cute. A cute fish that just didn't understand the dangers of the sea, and his dad knows best. And he's kind of reserved too. Like, he has him going to school, but he's like, he just loves his son, man. You can feel the love. The scene with the shark was mad scary. He starts off like a nice guy, but what is it? Dory bumps her nose, and then he smells the blood, and he's like, that's good. Like, oh, yo, that shit was scary as a kid. And then Nemo, he goes to the dentist, and then there's this crazy ass girl, I forget her name, and she's like, Fishy, why are you sleeping? And at number 6, we have Toy Story 1, 10 out of 10. Our first 10 out of 10 movie. Now, this top 10, or like at least top 6, was very hard to put together, because the rest of these movies are 10 out of 10s. These are like the best Pixar movies I can watch over and over and over again and never get tired of them. This movie I watched recently heading into Toy Story 5, and it is a fucking fire movie. I think I rated them in that movie too, the other Toy Story movies, so my ratings changed. But this one is really good. Like, people kind of overlook this movie. I know it's the first one, it's like the first animated Disney movie ever or some shit, or at least with Pixar, I think it was. Maybe, I don't know that for a fact, but it had a really good fucking story. Like, Woody's voice acting and his jealousy is really shown, but him slowly learning that he's not the only one with the right to be Andy's favorite toy, because Andy loving Buzz is what makes Andy happy. And then Buzz doesn't really understand that. Buzz don't really, he's a new toy. He just got out his box. He don't understand his real place in the world. He think that he's a fucking Star Command Ranger. And then Woody's like belittling him the whole time. Like, are you special? What is wrong with you? He's like talking to him all crazy and shit. And then Buzz is like, I ain't got time for that shit. I gotta find Zurg. But then they go to Sid's house. And then Buzz thinks he really got it to escape, and then he tries to fly, and then he learns that he cannot fly. He falls, his arm falls out, and then he kind of loses it. He's mad depressed, but it takes Woody to talk him out of it when Woody's trapped under a box and Buzz is strapped to a fucking missile, and he's like, there's no point of escaping. I have no point. I just realized that what I've known my whole life so far has been a lie. And then Woody's like, bro, listen, you might not be a fucking real space ranger, but you have a lot of value to this damn kid. I thought only I could bring that, but I see how Andy treats you, and it's like, bro, you plastered all over his room. Your meaning is a lot stronger than you think it is. Like, this is a toy's purpose. So Buzz learning that, and then him and Woody learning how to get out the house together, and then they make a plan where Woody's like, I'm about to get all these toys we were scared of with the baby, with the spider legs and shit. We're about to jump this nigga Sid, and then they reveal to him that they're real, and then he's like, play nice, and then Sid runs off. This movie was good, man. Now we in top 5 territory. Now I ain't gonna lie, this is gonna piss some people off, but I don't give a damn, bro. At number 5, we got Cars 3. The passing of the torch moment, or passing of the torch story in this movie is so fucking good. But the whole passing of the torch is like, yo, listen, I'm LeBron James in 2026 with this shit. I'm nice, but I'm not that nice. I'm not better than the new shit. Like, this is Victor Wembanyama I'm fucking with. Jackson Storm is too fast. Like, all this technology, I cannot keep up with this. So he spends the whole movie trying to train to beat him, but it's really like, at this point, it's physically impossible. And then he realizes like, yo, my trainer is literally part of this nigga's generation. If I take that Doc Hudson role and teach her how to be a good racer, which she showed to have mad potential and mad grit, mad, not too much confidence, but mad potential. He's like, you know what? It's time to pass the torch. At least use my legendary status to fuel a younger racer. You know what I'm saying? So she ends up beating Jackson Storm in the end, which I thought was a little unrealistic because he looked like he couldn't be fucked with, but he was too cocky. I loved it. This movie was fucking fire. Mater wasn't a big part of it, which is good. It's not great because I fuck with Mater, but this was about Lightning McQueen, man. I wouldn't be mad if they never make a Cars movie ever again. This was a good trilogy to me. At number 4, which is my hottest take of the video, is Monsters University. I don't know why niggas shit on this movie. The animation is really good. I love the story where Mike Wazowski's like, no matter what people say, I've been belittled all my life. Like, you know, them fat motherfuckers he was with at the beginning when he was a baby, when there was at Monsters Incorporated, when he wanted to be a scarer. He's like, move out the way, guys. I want to see what the scarers is doing. And he's like, fuck out of here, little nigga. You not meant to be a scarer. You really think you're gonna be a scarer? Fuck out of here. That's what his classmates say. Then he's forced to stand next to his teacher, but then he sneaks into the room where his favorite scarer is in there, doesn't even know he's in there, watches his idol at work, and then the idol comes out. Everybody's like, oh shit, bro, the little kid just went in with you. And he's like, yo, I didn't even know you was in there. Gives him the hat, and that's the biggest inspiration he's ever had. But this movie comes a big heartbreak, but I'll get on to that in a second. But then there's Sully, who Mike meets in college, where Sully's just a hockey motherfucker that knows his dad's legendary and he's naturally scary, so he thinks he can just go screaming at niggas. But then he's taught that some kids aren't that scared of you. Some kids will look at you like a fluffy bear. Some kids will cry instead of scream. We gotta make kids scream, so you gotta study this shit. You can't just be a lazy, laid back motherfucker. But that's not how scaring works, and Mike Wazowski knows that. But what Mike Wazowski learns is that what the principal says is that he just lacks the physical ability to scare people. Like, they doubt that he's able to scare. So he's like, bitch, I'll show you some. After they lose the scare games where his whole team does good and it's up to him to take them to the promised land, and then he gets the scare, he wins them the championship. But it turns out Sully, to stop Mike Wazowski from embarrassing himself, rigged the game where he'd get a high score anyway, where Mike Wazowski snaps his fingers because he's like, no way I'm that scary. And then the kid just screams and he gets a full score, and that's where he learns. And he's like, yo, did you do this? And he's like, yeah, but you know what I'm saying, like we had to stay in school. And he's like, fuck all that, you didn't trust me. All of that confidence you've been giving me when they training in the team, Uzman Kappa gets they team together, all that shit, it was all a lie. Mike Wazowski, I know he doesn't really take doubt or any sense of doubt, right? Like, he's always gonna be like, fuck you, I'll prove you wrong. So Sully just didn't want to argue about it, so he just went to cheating. And Sully's not a bad friend for doing that, but he, you know, it's good, man. It's so good. Mike feels the ultimate disrespect. He's like, you really thought like I couldn't do this, so you had to rig it? He felt so disrespected, so he's like, fuck the team, fuck this college shit. I'm going into the human world and I'm gonna prove that I'm scary. And keep in mind, this nigga knows everything about scaring. He knows everything. He might not have his mind right, but you know what I'm saying? He's still gonna try this shit. He gonna prove everybody wrong because he always has that mentality. And then he gets to the human world, unauthorized, but nobody's gonna follow him because, you know, that shit could get people killed. He goes into the human world trying to scare a little girl. He's like scratching the bed. You know, he rolls like a choo-choo train, I'm pretty sure. And he tries to scare her. And then she just laughs at him. She fucking laughs at him, bro. This nigga's in college. All his life, he's been trying to prove people wrong, that even though he might not have the natural appearance of a scarer, he can be that. But Pixar gives you a rare story where it's like, some dreams might not work out, bro. Some shit you're not able to do. But it's about finding another purpose. If that shit doesn't work, there's always something else you can do. That shit is mad inspirational. The little girl laughs at him. His whole world shatters. Every other little kid human, because he like, what, the door leads to a summer camp, she's laughing at him. Another girl's like pointing at him like, yo, you look funny, my nigga. Everybody else laughing at him. He's like, oh shit, this is basically all my doubters in my face fucking laughing at me. Sully follows him like a real nigga, because you know he didn't want to do that, but he had to save his boy. He felt so guilty. Follows Mike, and then he's looking around while he gets in the camp, and then the cops are shooting at him, following him, and then he gets in the woods, loses them, and then he finds Mike Wazowski at a lake. This scene is like mad heartbreaking because you can see how colorful they are and how different their world is compared to the human world, and it's mad dark at nighttime, and Mike Wazowski's just sitting at the lake. I don't care if I get found. And then Sully's like, what the fuck you doing? We gotta get back, bro. Like, come on, I came to save you. Then Mike's just like, bro, they wasn't scared of me. Y'all was right. My whole life was a fucking lie. I've been lying to myself to follow a dream that was never there. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was heartbreaking. But then Sully's like, listen, bro, you're one of the smartest niggas I've ever met. I see the fire in you, and I'm low-key jealous because without you, I wouldn't be able to be this successful. Like, with your inspiration is what got me to the top. Like, as a team, these niggas made it to the fucking finals, bro. Even if they didn't win, Sully was not a team worker, but Mike Wazowski put that leading role on that Sully followed along, and he's like, yo, this nigga's really inspirational. So he tells him that. He's like, you might not be scary, you got passion, bro. You got fire in your soul. That shit is so good, bro. That shit is way better than the first movie. People with mad differences teaming together and making shit work. And to prove that, after Mike Wazowski gets inspired by Sully's words, they're like, oh shit, we gotta get out of here. How do we get out of here? And Mike's like, hey man, we gotta get niggas to scream as loud as they can. That's the only way to open the door back up. So they hatch a plan to get all the cops in the room. They slowly find ways to creep him out. Mike's coaching Sully. He's low-key helping him out. And in the end, they get the cops to scream so fucking loud that it opens the door and they go back. When they talk to the college professor, like, well, Mike Wazowski made a deal with her before the scare games where it's like, if I prove you wrong, which she says has never happened in her life, if I prove you wrong, you have to let us into the scare program. And then they made a deal, but the deal failed. So when they go back after all of that, after getting caught cheating and shit, at the end, she's like, hey man, y'all are dismissed from school. But she admits to Mike Wazowski that you surprised me. In the end, you know, the nigga, he proved her wrong. He proved the top scarer ever. I think she was like the best scarer ever. He proved her wrong. That's just like a crazy feat, like something he'd still never thought he'd be able to do, and that's where he finds his calling. Another movie about finding your calling. Or like, you know, fuck college, maybe we can go from the ground up together. You be Sully's like, you be my coach, I'll be the scarer. And then leads us to Monsters Inc., where they're the top scaring team in the whole facility, bro. Fire, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all saying this shit not good. Get out of here. That shit is peak, nigga. But now it's top 3 time. At number 3, I got The Incredibles. Now, I think the action carries this movie a whole lot. Oh, Syndrome fucking carries this movie. That nigga is the best villain. Even though I have 2 movies above this, he is the best villain in Pixar history. Nobody has ever been better, because you know he starts off as a fan of Mr. Incredible, and Mr. Incredible's like, little nigga, you not coming along with me, you don't have what it takes. And he's like, I bet. Grows up hating this dude, so he gets a plan where it's like, since these superhero niggas think they so good, let's make being super the fucking norm.
I'll give them heroics. I'll give them the most spectacular heroics anyone's ever seen. And when I'm old and I've had my fun, I'll sell my inventions so that everyone can be superheroes. Everyone can be super. And when everyone's super, no one will be.
I'm gonna take y'all out. I'm gonna use my brains that I've always had and you doubted work, because he had like a jetpack back then, and then Mr. Incredible's like, that's useless. So he's like, I'm gonna use the brain I've always had and invent all of this tech that can make anybody super. Because if that's the normal, he's gonna diminish the meaning of being a superhero. He doesn't win in the end, but at least that gives Mr. Incredible some time to self-reflect. I love this movie just based off Syndrome, because that shit was so good, and the action is fire. He is one of the villains where you don't agree with, but goddamn, you understand the motherfucker, because superheroes be cocky, bro. You feel like you on the top of the world, but when shit really go down, the niggas you doubted could really get better than you, and that nigga had the Incredible family on the ropes, man. At number 2, we got Cars. 10 out of 10. Cars, man, I don't even need to go on a long tangent on why this is fire. You know, he kind of Lightning McQueen treats Mater like a special ed kid, but with the help of Sally, you know, he's a superstar. He gets banished to a town that just has a lot of down-to-earth people, and he's just an asshole. You know, he's the best racer in the world, but then he kind of learns the meaning of family, bro. He doesn't, like, he shits on Mac. He doesn't really have anybody else, but with being with this town of humble people that love you for who you are, and with Sally being the main spokesperson for that, he really learns the meaning of friendship. Like, he learns that Mater's not a fucking short bus rider. He's actually loyal to me because he's not only inspired by what I do, but at the same time, he thinks you a good friend. Like, it's the message that's there. I love it. So in the end, using what he learned, he sacrifices the race. He's about to win the fucking race with Chick Hicks talking shit in the background. Like, that cup means the world to him. But then by the time he does the race with the whole family helping him, Radiator Springs, everybody from Radiator Springs is helping him, he gets to the finish line after King crashes, you know, the Dinoco guy, that he even planned to take his place. I think he had like a sponsorship to where he wanted to take his place. So in the final race where he's going up against Chick Hicks and King crashes out, and he's like an OG. So with what Lightning learned throughout the movie, at the fucking finish line, he stops. He's like thinking, he's like, bro, honestly, this shit not worth it. This is not an honorable win. I learned honor in my time at Radiator Springs. He lets Chick Hicks win the fucking cup. He doesn't care about that. He takes King, pushes him to the finish line, and he's like, something about old timer, you got this, or whatever the fuck. I gotta show respect. Whatever. It just shows the humility, or whatever the fuck the word is. That shit was so fire, bro. So goddamn fire. I love Cars. I could watch this movie all the time. At our number 1 spot, we got Toy Story 3. 10 out of 10. My god, the amount of times I watched this movie as a kid, it's crazy. I had it on disc and I just watched it so goddamn much. But it's not even because I was like just a kid. Upon rewatch, this movie is really good, man. You know, with Andy going to college, and then Woody's not really in denial this time. It's more about his gang thinking that there's more to life than just glazing Andy. And Woody kind of takes that into account, but Andy did want to keep his toys, but he planned on bringing Woody to college. Sunnyside Daycare being the prison that it turned out to be, with Lotso, who was an abandoned toy that found a place that he runs the shit, so he belittles everybody. He has prison guards, and you know, the new toys come in and they get abused, and the higher ups get to be with the more chill kids. Buzz Lightyear turning Spanish, you know, him having a little love with Jesse doubting Woody's loyalty to Andy, even though Woody was right in the end and Mr. Potato Head was always on that bullshit. It's kind of a self-reflection for Jesse, you know what I'm saying? Because she was abandoned. She kind of felt the same thing, but she went a different route. She can see how that shit can consume you. Everybody turns against Lotso when Woody reveals the truth of what happened and what he's been doing to people, to straight abuse to his people. And then the most heartbreaking scene in probably animation history, where they go to the trash heap. They're all like, what, they trust Lotso to stop the whole machine, and then he's like, fuck y'all, I'm out of here. And then they all are slowly heading towards the burning pile of trash with all the fire, and then they're like, yo, this is probably it, like there's no way out of here. So then they all hold hands, they ready to fucking go out together. Yo, Pixar be cooking, nigga. Pixar be cooking. Cause then it's like, bro, low-key, I never seen such a defeated group of protagonists like in my life, man. They were all against each other throughout the movie, then they help each other escape, and in the end they're ready to die together. That shit is loyalty, bro. I love loyalty. And they do get saved by the aliens in the end. And then Andy's like, you know what, instead of putting them in my attic where they'll be depressed all day life, he doesn't know this, but you know, that's how we view it. Instead of putting them in my attic, they can make another kid happy like they did for me. So he's reminded of what Woody did, and then he gives the toys to Bonnie. You know, he's like giving the toys. Oh my god, it should have ended here, bro. That shit is such a good ending. He's giving each toy an introduction from, you know, each toy leading up to Woody, and he's just showing how much they meant to him growing up. And then he's like, he gets to Woody, right? And then he's like, Woody, this nigga is my childhood. Toy Story 3 was just so good, man. And they didn't even have to make this movie, but that shit was fire. 10 out of 10, bro. That's gonna do it for my Pixar rankings video. If y'all disagree with the list, let me know down below. Like I said, all of these movies have a good message to them. Pixar really doesn't miss for real. All that new shit, cool, bro, but nah, son, these movies really speak to you as a kid, and you know it's good when as an adult you can see how good the messages they're portraying is, how relatable they are, what they teach your kids. So nah, these movies are low-key mad educational, bro. Pixar, you made a lot of childhoods, man. You made a whole lot. Hope y'all enjoy, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.